Welcome to Truth and Company podcast. I'm your host, John the Truth Dioria, and today my guest actually started his music out of an apartment in Duluth, Minnesota, and Twin Ports. But he's not from this area. He's actually from Prescott, Wisconsin. He was up here going to college at Lake Superior College. So let me bring him on. Country rapper and hip hop artist Ragin from the Dirty Prescott Kids. How you doing, Ragin? Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Did we lose our sound? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Am I supposed to be able to hear? I can't hear you right now.
What the heck? I can hear you just fine. All right, something's not going. That's not good.
Don't know what I gotta do. Can you hear me yet?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
All right, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Okay, we're good?
Yeah.
All right. Well, a little technical difficulty. Of course, that always happens when you're doing a live podcast.
Yeah. There's always something.
So anyways, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I appreciate you taking time to come on. I know you just got back from a trip to Colorado. You were doing some snowboarding.
Yeah. We just got back a couple of days ago. It took a little bit to bounce back.
That was pretty cool. We were just talking off air that in one of your videos, somebody actually recognized you all the way out in Colorado when you're from Prescott, Wisconsin. So apparently people are paying attention to your videos.
Yeah. Each year it gets a little bit farther out there, and it's always a humbling and awesome experience when somebody says what's up out in the wild.
So I did mention in the intro that you actually started your music up here in Duluth, Minnesota. So can you take me back there and how did that all happen?
For sure. Well, I graduated high school in Prescott in 2009 and decided to go up to Duluth to Lake Superior College because some of my sports plans fell through. That's a whole nother story, but I ended up in Duluth, living up on like the Rice Lake Road area, Campus Park it was called. And I lived with 4 girls. It was quite the experience. And
so like just started show there.
Oh, it was a whole different show. It was awesome though. They were super good to me. They were sophomores, so they all started introducing to me to all the people they had already met over the last year. So it really was not much of a learning curve for me up there. I kind of got just thrown into just living up there. And in that time frame, I met a lot of different people and a lot of just kind of new experiences and everything. I was always a music person, but I met some people that had the musical equipment and means to record music. And we kind of started DJing and messing around that way. And I kind of told them that I wrote music on the side at home, but never recorded it. I always assumed that had to be in like some big professional studio. And they were like, oh no, we got a microphone right here. And so I kind of started recording some stuff just for fun and just kind of for the roommates. And then we kind of started sampling them into our house parties, which we had plenty. And I just really used to drop them in between popular songs just to see if anyone really quick like turned and said, shut this off, and a couple of them passed the test and people just kept partying and vibing and everything. So I kind of started taking it a little bit more serious after that. And I was up in Duluth for 3 years, but it really was like the starting ground for me because I was able to show my music to a lot of people my age, young, early 20s and everything in the party scene. And by the time I got back to Prescott in 2011, 2012 area, I started releasing music like officially on the internet. So it really all started in Duluth.
Did you perform up here in Duluth at all?
No, I don't think I could fathom in that time that I was up there that I was going to even end up performing the stuff. Like it really was like when I used to play the stuff in between songs, it was almost like I wanted to walk away because I couldn't like bear to watch, like just in case people like really hated it. Like it was just, I was too early on to even think that I was wanted to perform it. I just wanted to make music and then kind of put it out, which kind of ties into why my music is called Dirty Prescott Kids and not like, you know, my formal government name, because I just kind of always in the beginning was a little bit shy on that side of things of putting out music, especially being from a small town.
Well, let's talk about that, the Dirty Prescott Kids. How did that name come about? And I know there was some other members that were with you. So,
Yeah.
and we talked earlier that you're kind of on your own now, but you're doing a lot of collaborations. So kind of take me down that path of the putting together the Dirty Prescott Kids and who was part of that.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a multi-phase thing, but like in that era that I was up in Duluth, there was no name to it. I just kind of put the songs out on my personal Facebook, and there didn't really need to be a name. And then by the time I got back and started recording music to put it on the internet, to put it on YouTube, to put it on anything, you know, there's got to be a name. Like, what are people supposed to follow? And I had a kid from my hometown that I was making music with at the time, and we kind of we're just toying ideas of what to call it, and we kind of like all of our songs in the beginning were just really about all my friends from Prescott, kind of like the lifestyle we all lived and everything in small town Wisconsin. So my friend actually said, why don't we call it the Dirty Prescott Kids? It was a funny enough, cool enough working title for me at the time. This is probably 2011, early 2012. So we put out our first songs under that name. Now 2-3 songs in, this kid kind of goes MIA, and it's really just me. And I didn't have my fill yet. So like I keep putting out songs under the name and keep it rolling. 2012, 2013, and about 2013, 2014, another Prescott kid that was kind of a EDM DJ, Tony Burton, Trips is his name, joined forces with me as like my beat producer, my mix master, kind of like helped me on the technical side to make the song sound a little bit more up to par to be putting on the streaming platforms. And so there was 2 of us, and I just kept the name rocking because I had already started to gain people listening to it, and it just didn't seem like I should change it, you know? And the farther that we went with it, I just kind of started to think, well, it's a unique enough name and it catches people's attention. I didn't really want to go by just my main, you know, like I said, my government name. And there was I don't know, like I just kind of like kept it rolling a little too long. And then by the time I really started to catch steam, it was far too late to come up with the name change and everything like that. And what I've grown to allow it to be is a very inclusive name where pretty much anybody that's down with the music can be a Dirty Prescott kid. It's all of us. It's about all the people I grew up with. It's about people that aren't even from Prescott that relate to it. Now it's just a big old happy, inclusive name. So it grew to mean new things as I went. But in the beginning, to be honest, it was just a working title that we came up with because you needed to have a name to put the music on the internet.
So now who is Trailer Swift then?
Trailer Swift, I guess, is just a woman that I made up for a song, a metaphor for a type of chick that I met in my past. I spent a lot of time living in the trailer park, a good almost decade. So I always write songs about things that it could either be a direct life experience or loosely based on something that happened to me or something that happened to people around me. But everything that I've wrote has some sort of, you know, tethering to something that's happened to me. But sometimes, like Trailer Swift, that was kind of me expressing, kind of making up a story to fully make a cool song.
Okay. Now your nickname Ragin, correct me if I'm wrong. No, that's actually a drink from down there. And isn't it a song that you created?
So it's not a drink that I know of, but it should be. Basically, a lot of my songs in the beginning and now, I guess, are about having a good time and partying. And one word that I used over and over again is raging. And when I was driving between North Carolina and Texas, ironworking, I just had this epiphany that raging split into two is like a name. Like it just like I had music on. This is probably 2020, and I'm like raging. It goes together perfectly. So like all of a sudden I'm like, I'm making a song called Rage In. Like I didn't know what it was going to be or whatever. And I come up with this idea, basically got the song half wrote by the time I get to Texas, record the song in a hotel room. And I'm telling all my friends, I'm like, dude, this song is banging. Like I had some traction, like pretty good following on TikTok and everything. Probably had like one album and I don't know, 15 songs out by then. But I put the song out in May of 2021, and it took off like a bat out of hell on TikTok and gained me a whole new fan base that I did not have before, and immediately launched me into a totally different realm of music where my music was being downloaded. I was being paid to do it. Streaming platforms were popping off. My YouTube channel was growing. I started getting booked for shows. My first show shortly after that song came out was in Virginia, Blackstone, Virginia. And, I had only done shows locally before that. And like realistically, that song changed everything for me. So now it's just like synonymous with me. Raging is me. It's the song, it's partying. It represents a whole lot. And I've never got sick of it. I've done shows now where people want to hear it 2-3 times. And it's like, all right, whatever.
So tell me then what this Raging on the River is.
Well, Raging on the River is just me blending all of those things together. Is that like half of the reason why my videos took off for that song was me. I live in a river town. So most of my summers, my whole entire life have been on the river, and all my friends got some sort of a boat, some nice, some little, aluminum fishing boats, doesn't matter, anything to get out there. And I would be out on the river with one of them every day. And so I would make some sort of a TikTok out there and, add that song in there. I'm pretty good at promoting myself. And it was early in the stage of TikTok. People who are familiar with TikTok, that 2020 to 2021 era cannot be replicated. It was just wild for growth, that what you could have on there. And we were getting, I don't know, 250,000 to 500,000 views per video of this song. And now people started making videos to the song that weren't me. And most of them took place like out on the river. And then a little side note, my fiance, Caroline, and me, another thing that we like to do is just, sing other songs, like just country songs and, songs that we like, also out on the river. And we had this video to a Leanne Rimes song take off, One Way Ticket it's called, and that did like 3.5 million views in like a couple weeks or something. So the river became synonymous with my brand 100%. Like just everything on the boats, water, whatever the heck we could be doing, lakes, that was kind of tied to Dirty Prescott Kids, Rage In, One Way Ticket, just all these things. And so years and years later, after me doing all these things, I finally decided to try to run my own event for the people of my area, or people that want to travel to my area and see the places that we've been talking about this whole time. And I thought it just to call it, they used to have Rockin' on the River in Prescott years and years ago, and when I was a kid. And so I decided to call my event Raging on the River. And we threw our first annual one last July. And although we got a little bit of resistance from the powers that be, we threw it regardless. And we put a lot of effort into it, between the pontoon stage and the actual professional sound equipment out there and everything. And I think people were blown away by all the effort we put into it. People said it was one of the funnest days that they've ever had out there. People that didn't come participate said they never seen that many people out there. So overall, it was a success. And now people have pretty much demanded to me whether I want to keep it going or not, which I do, but they have said this is a thing now. And even some of the older cats in my area that never really gave me no props said after they saw it that they thought that was really good for the area, and they were proud of me for doing it. So there was more than one positive thing that happened from it, but it was a big team effort from all the people that kind of helped me get where I was in the first place. And then they all got to participate in like front and center. Like we had a good amount of people out there. So it was fun for everybody.
So how many albums do you have out right now?
Technically, I only have one album. I put my first debut album out September of 2018, and I marketed that for 3 years or something, trying to get it to pop off until I got my song Welcome to America to take off on there. And afterwards, I didn't realize I wasn't doing it like a system, but now I realize that it actually is like at least in 2026, it is the absolute system. I was releasing singles and I would put a song out, like I put out Rage In, I marketed it for a while. I put out Keys, I started marketing it for a while. Then I put out Last October, 2-3 months of crack, and the traction that you can get now from putting out a song and sticking to it for a little while versus putting out a whole body of work and expecting somebody to go blast through 15 songs. And now, you're on to the next one. The social media algorithms versus people's attention span, it has just worked for me to be doing the singles method. So I probably put out 3 albums worth of songs, but only one album. And I really, really want to put one out, but actually my main producer and my counterpart of Dirty Prescott Kids keeps talking me out of it because it just works better for us to do one song at a time until we got the proper amount of attention onto it, I guess.
Now, did I just see on social media, are you dropping a new song soon?
I got a song coming out tomorrow, actually, midnight tonight. Yep, it's called Outlaw Living. It's a collaboration with the artist that I met down from Tallahassee, Florida. So it's gonna be a cool one. I planned on having it on an album, but it's a whole nother conversation. But it's just like if I put out a song right now and I start making reels to it and everything, you can kind of gauge like how it's working and everything, how people like it, and I can still keep dipping back into my old ones. But if I put out an album tomorrow, all 15 of those songs, that could have been 15 months of promotion and song releases, and it's all at once. So it's a horse apiece. People can choose which one they like to do, but it keeps my engagement rolling. And until I got like the right amount of attention on a project, it just seems like I should just hold off.
Speaking of reels, not only do you promote your music and all that, but you'd like to do silly, funny reels like almost every day on social media. What's that all about?
Yeah, well, my personality is silly. I'm not gonna lie. I've always been a lighthearted person. I like to joke around, and my brother and I my brother's a videographer and he films like hunting TV shows and produces we make drastically different content, but we both have the same personality. And I don't know, like when he first started busting out the camera and everything back in the day, we'd make these, like, I didn't know I was doing the same thing I was going to be doing later on, but we would just make funny videos and post them to pretty much like our Snapchat. Only our friends would be seeing them, but like I was trying to, I don't know, make people laugh, make people's day, like just to say random stuff that went through my head and little skits and whatnot. And then later on, when I actually was on social media, I just kept that same attitude rolling. So like it seems like a lot of people that make my type of music just want to be looked at as just a badass, and like I'm cool with that too. But like I don't know. I just don't take things like that seriously. So I like to add the humor element to my shit. And I don't know, it works for me. People like that I'm not afraid to be myself on there.
All right. So you ready for these random 20 questions?
I think so. Never know.
All right. So question 1, tell me about your background and your upbringing a little bit.
How far back are we going?
Oh no, just basic.
Well, I'm born and raised in Prescott, Wisconsin. I spent my first 18 years of my life there. My parents are both blue collar workers. Duluth was the only place that I ever expanded out of Prescott. I went there for 3 years of college to kind of broaden my horizons, and then I moved straight back to Prescott and stayed there basically ever since. So I guess I'm Prescott through and through. Grew up playing sports. Sports were a huge part of my life. I played basketball, football, and baseball till I got to high school. I dropped it down to just basketball and football. I always thought that would be the avenue of the distance that I would go, but due to my wanting to have such a good time all the time, I got myself in a couple binds early, and that ended my option to play sports after high school. So I kind of just kept channeling that energy into other stuff, and that was music. Music was also a part of my life. I should know that I played the drums from 6th grade through high school in the marching band. So music and music composition has always kind of been there with me as well. I don't know, I guess I took that like competitive mentality that I had for sports for so many years and just put it towards music. But yeah, that's a good gist of it.
And now, are you still working as an iron worker?
I still keep all my certifications and my dues current. So I would still say that I am an iron worker through and through, but I haven't had to be on a job in a couple years as I went full. I wanted to, a couple years ago, I wanted to see how long I could make it on content and music, and I'm still humming along.
Okay. Question 2, do you have any hobbies outside of music?
Oh yeah, I have an infinite amount of hobbies. I pick ones up, I put them down. I hunt, I fish. I like doing artwork, painting, and different things like that. Caroline and I, my fiance, we recently picked up doing some more natural things like making maple syrup and jam and all kinds of stuff like that. I like editing videos and doing social media. Even though it seems like that's integral with the music and everything, it's a completely separate part. A lot of music artists out there don't like making content. They don't like making videos. They don't like the idea of social media. I love it. Like I like editing videos and trying to use new tactics and stuff that I see online and see if I can make cool stuff with very minimal resources. Other than that, I like exercising. I love working out. Consider myself a workout enthusiast since 15 years old. So that takes up a good chunk of my time. I like watching sports, if you would consider that a hobby. What else? I literally I pick up things all the time, just infinitely curious. So like if I think I can do something, I'll try it for a little bit just to see if I like it, you know?
Okay. All right. Question 3, seeing that you mentioned partying, if you could party all weekend with any famous person, who'd you want to get smashed with?
Probably Kid Rock. I feel like me and him would get along pretty good on many levels. I've been close to being able to party with him, but it ain't happened yet. So that would be probably a good one.
All right. Question 4, if you ended up on an episode of Cops, the TV series, what would it be for?
These days, I mind my P's and Q's quite a bit, but if I did, it would probably be for throwing too big of a party and getting a little too loud and them showing up and telling me that I can't do that. But other than that, it would be a rare occurrence for me to end up on there anymore. I watch myself pretty good now.
Okay. All right. Question 5, if you were reincarnated as a fish, what fish would it be?
Probably a muskie. The old muskalons, the Wisconsin state fish.
Okay. All right. Question 6, can you tell me an interesting story out of your music career?
Interesting story. I don't know. There's so many of them. I guess I don't know like what would be considered interesting. First one that popped up that I think was funny. When I first got booked out of state, I had some people on social media say they were going to be there, which obviously in those early stages, that means more than anything, before you have like a fan base, that a couple people are going to be there because obviously your friends aren't coming with you. And we were playing a show down in Alabama, and this guy said that he was coming to see me. And we got to the show. We were opening up for Jesse Howard. And I got to the hotel and I talked to the front desk lady. I said, "Hey, I'm here to check in. I'm playing down at this venue." And she goes, "Oh, you're Jesse Howard?" And I go, "Oh, no, I'm Dirty Prescott Kids." And she's like, "Oh, okay." He called in a little earlier and I thought we weren't expecting him because I think they're going to play and they're not going to stay here. But he got a hotel room. I buried that in the back of my mind, right? I didn't really think nothing of it. I go to the venue, I play the show, and I meet these fans, and they're so excited to meet us that I think they jumped the gun a little bit and started partying a little too hard. And they don't tell me till after the show. They go, "Hey, yeah, we got to drive back like 5 hours. We drove quite a ways to come see you." And I'm like, holy shit. Now I just have this genius idea, which I knew this would mean a lot to these people who just met me and they came there to see me. I go, I got intel that the headliner isn't even staying at the hotel room tonight, but the people who booked us got us these hotel rooms. Why don't you just come to the hotel and tell him that you're the headliner? She has no idea what he looks like. So this guy who is a fan of mine and has known me for like 3 hours is like, "Are you serious?" So we go like a couple blocks down to the hotel room and he walks in there and he goes, "Hey, I'm Jesse Howard. I'm here to check into my hotel room." She's like, "Oh, we were wondering if you were going to come here. Nice to meet you, Jesse." And she checks this kid in, and him and his girlfriend got to stay in a hotel room for free that Jesse was never going to stay in. And I looked good. He had a good time. He'll probably never forget it. And it was no cost off of my back. So I consider that to be an interesting story. Plus, that was like my second or third out of state show. So it was definitely something that kind of still burns in my memory. And I guess we're still social media friends today.
No, that's a good story, man. You never hear nothing like that. So
yeah, it was a funny experience. And I obviously looked like just a epic person for doing it for him. And I was like, huh?
All right. Question 7. If you could box in a celebrity boxing match versus any musician or celebrity, who would you want to fight?
Who would I want to fight? Oh my gosh. That is, I don't think I got an answer for that. I'm a pretty non-aggressive person these days, but I guess if there was anybody out there that thought that they would pick me for that question, then I guess that's the person that I'd box, because if you want to box me, then I guess let's go. But I ain't calling out anybody.
All right. All right. Question 8. What is something that your fans don't know about you?
I don't know. I pretty much, I always say like I tell people like 95% of what's going on in my life. I'm extremely vocal and honest with people. I go live regularly and I just tell people what's going on in my life. So other than like super personal details, like what's going on like actual like day-to-day stuff, I don't know if there's anything pertinent that there, that I would need to mention. Like, I don't know. Like,
okay.
I don't think there is a whole lot that without saying like, they probably don't know how many pairs of socks that I have washed right now. They probably know like just random stuff like that. Like, but other than that, I pretty much tell people everything. And, nobody's been able to look something up about me yet and say, "Oh, you didn't tell us about this." I pretty much have. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Question 9. What is the craziest or the funniest story that ever happened between you and a fan?
Well, that last one was pretty good. Between me and a fan.
Has there ever been any interactions like when you're performing or anything?
Oh, yeah. Okay, here's another one. This is a good one. So I got booked for this place in Illinois, and they double booked me, so they wanted me to play 2 days in a row. And the first night, what they didn't tell me they were doing, which is like kind of shady, but I get it. They had me starting, it was at a mud park, and they had me starting before the trails were even closed. Now at the mud park, a lot of the people, some people come for the music, but a lot of people are there to rip their side by sides around. And you pay good money to be there, and for the dang machine, you're going to get it for everything it's worth. And then you want to hear music. Well, they started me before it was even closed. So I get up there for sound check, and it's just not a lot of people anywhere in sight. You can hear all the humming of the four-wheelers and everything out there, but there's just no one there. And they had Puddle of Mud playing that night, the rock band. So I knew they'd be out for that, but they got me playing it. Like, it was kind of a setup, you know what I mean? Like, there wasn't a lot of people available. And so by the time we start, there's one kid out there. And by the time that I finished, there was more than that. But when it started, I shit you not, there was one person out there. So I got out on the microphone. I got to perform like there's 1,000 people out there and there's one. And I was like, hey, what's your name? And this kid's like, I'm Timmy. And I was like, well, Timmy, hopefully one day nobody believes you that this happened, but this concert's for you, brother. And we started like with a bang. And I thought he was there to see it. He'd come to tell me afterwards that he was just kind of walking by and figured he'd see what was going on. And that was his first introduction to me in general. But he stayed there for the whole concert. And by the end of it, there was much more people than what started. But since we had that little funny interaction, we brought him to the back where we had our camper set up and everything. And I gave him some merch and everything. And he ended up helping me and my mom carry like her merch bins to her car so she could head out for the night. And we pretty much have been connected ever since. But so like he ended up being the only person there. And then basically we treated him like VIP the rest of the weekend. We're just like, this is our brother, Timmy. And he'll still tune into my TikToks and everything every once in a while. I always recognize when he pops in there or whatever. But it was one of those things where he just was like the only person there. So we ran him around like a trophy after that.
Nice. All right.
That was a long time ago. It was probably 2021. Yeah, probably September of 2021.
Jeez. All right. Question 10. If you had to promote a product in a commercial, what product would you be willing to promote?
Well, I'm very specific about those things. I always have been since I got into social media. Nobody really coached me into this, but I'm glad that my morals kind of kicked in, because I know people will rep just about any product that they can. But for me, I've only repped products that work, or that I actively use, or that I have actually teamed up with and rock with consistently. And so right now, the company I would say that has treated me the best and has through and through just gave me quality products that I believe to rep, I would say Brunt Workwear, Brunt Boots. So I would be in any commercial for them, repping any product that they got. They make good quality work boots and workwear, and that's my people. Other than that, I heat wave sunglasses I rock out consistently. They've always been good to me. And my friends over at Twisted Tea, that's probably the drink that I would rep. Other than that, I just kind of rep my own brand. I don't pick a lot of products. A lot of people do that on TikTok and everything. They just pick, products they can get little commissions off of and stuff. And I just a little bit more picky about it.
And speaking of your own products, if everybody looks down below, your website is right there. They can buy merch off your website, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I've had merch on there since even before my songs took off. So that was one cool step that my brother taught me, that ended up right place, right time. I had a website when my first song started to take off. So like people started just naturally migrating there and getting t-shirts. And then that ends up being like, if people don't really realize this, especially in 2026, like not even just about me. If you like an independent artist, merch is such a better way to support than just streaming songs on the internet. Not that it's all about money, but streaming songs on the internet gets you about 0.006 cents per stream. So it would take you a month to stream as many songs as it would take to just buy one t-shirt. So like if you want to support someone, t-shirts, hats, stuff like that is the best way. It's the best way to do it. Plus you can rep it all the time then. I love seeing people out in the wild wearing DPK gear.
All right. Question 11.
Yep.
If you were a porn star, what would your porn name be?
I always thought that it would be Malone Washington. Because it was I always, they tell you when you're younger that like it. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but they always said it's like your name of your first dog and the first street you grew up on. So my first dog's name was Malone, and I grew up on Washington Street. So yeah, and I always thought that sounded like a good name, Malone, Washington.
All right. All right. Question 12. Do you have any interesting fishing or hunting stories?
Oh, I got a whole bunch of them. My favorite hunting story would be, well, I guess there would be two of them, but the most recent one that happened to me was a couple years back. It was such an iconic moment. My two brothers and my dad and I went out to Colorado elk hunting, and when we were getting some ammunition on our way out, they had told us that they got these over-the-counter bear tags because for so long they ignored the bear and don't give out these licenses or make them expensive. So the population went through the roof. And now they got these $100 over-the-counter bear tags. And my dad was like, well, a couple of us got to get them. You'd be stupid not to. So I get a bear tag. So does my other brother. And then me and my one brother, Colton, we go out one night. It was super shitty weather, like heavy wind, kind of drizzling. It's like October. And we go out and sit up on this cliffside. And basically, I figured the bear is the lowest priority because you got these like $800 elk tags. You're out there for the elk. The elk is obviously way better meat. It's the better play for sure. So the bear is the low priority. Well, we sat out there for like 4 hours freezing. And we figure if a bear pops up, and you do shoot at it, you're going to ruin any chance that you get to get an elk that night at least. And so we sat there toughing it out. And all of a sudden this bear starts kind of running through the area. And it was a really far away. So I thought, I'm not going to lie, my brother's way more experienced. I was like, that looks like a baby bear to me. And he's like, that ain't no baby. That's just extremely far away. And I'm like, it looks like a little kid, like just frolicking around. Like it looked like it's having a good time. And he's like, we're up there. We got the tag. So he's like, take a shot if you want. And I let it go out of distance. It disappears. And he's like, man, you should have did that. And I'm like, I know. For some reason, it comes back, it comes back, it loops around and it's like running up this log. I pull up the gun, I shoot, boom, drop it, one shot. Like, I know you should probably be ready to shoot more times. My brother was even blown away. He's like, what in the heck? Like, it just pancaked this thing, probably 180, 250 yards. And now we think like this is cloud nine. We're making noise. Like pretty much the hunt is over, right? Like we got to go get this thing. And right as we're getting up, he's like, holy shit, there's an elk right there. I'm like, no way, after everything that we just did. And he's like, if you can get that. I'm like, I'm looking down. I can't see what he's seeing. He said, it's right there. I'm like, I can't see. I'm so excited about what just happened to me. I'm like, if you see it, you shoot it. And he's like, he's just trying to get me the dang thing. So he shoots, ends up getting an elk within 20 minutes of me getting this bear. And they were probably within, 175 yards of each other. So that night we came back to the camp where my dad and my other brother were, who chose that night not to come with us, but they heard the shots out there. Like you wouldn't not hear them. We came back in there. We're like, we got some dinner tonight, boys. We had a bear and an elk. And it took us a whole day to get the meat off of the mountain. We had to pack it all out ourselves, which is a whole nother story. But getting an elk and a bear within a half an hour of each other with my brother was definitely probably one of the most iconic hunting stories I ever had.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool, man. That's especially in that bad weather too.
Yeah, and it was funny too. It's usually my brother or my dad that would be encouraging me to go out. And we were just sitting in this camp tent. There's really nothing to do. And I was looking out there that night. My brother was actually asleep in the food tent with me. And I was like, hey, we should go out there tonight. And he's like, really? You want to go? And I'm like, I feel like when it seems like the time to not go out is when you go out. Like I believe a little bit more universal signs like that than he does. He goes off a little more statistics, and he's like, all right, man, like if you want to. And that's why my little brother and my dad didn't come out there, because it was just like, it really was like not, it was not the type of weather you want to be sitting out there in. And yeah, it ended up working for both of us. Got a nice size 5x5 bull elk, and wasn't the biggest black bear, but I think it was probably about 300-pound black bear.
Nice.
Big enough to mess you up.
Yeah, any of them probably can. Question 13. If you had to give a speech to a group of kids, what topic would you talk about?
The topic I think that I would talk about is there's probably a lot of things that I should talk about, but I get told now by a lot of kids, like they think it's cool what I do, or they look up to it and everything. And I would talk about the importance of not allowing other people to manipulate your decisions and fall for peer pressures and things like that. Because as soon as you know who you are and are confident who you are, because it really is the only body that you're going to get, the better off that you'll be. I've always been the type of person that does what I think is right and what I feel is I let my heart guide me. And I think a lot of people out there do things because other people are doing them, or they feel like this is the popular thing to do. And it can get you in a lot of, I definitely had times in my life where I followed the crowd, and it seems to be the sooner the better that you know who the heck you are and you lean into it wholeheartedly, the better off that you'll be. Because there's a lot of people out there that even if they seem fun, they might steer you in the wrong direction, and it can go south real quick. And, you could get into the whole drinking thing too. I rep alcohol a lot in my songs, and I do like to tell younger people that I don't drink near as much as it seems like I do on social media. You see these videos and everything that could be from last summer, what I'm posting. Most of the time, we're taking care of ourselves and trying to, stay healthy, because if I was just drinking 24/7, I don't think that I would be able to do this.
All right. Question 14. What kind of things do you do to give back to your community?
I mean, I could probably do more, but I've always been the type of person that I'm there whenever they need me for something. There is a little bit of a I'd say like something like Raging on the River was something that I wanted to do for my community, because some people will go out there and say, you have like a meat raffle for somebody. Somebody will go out there, and everybody has like their own little window of that. What's your strength? What can you do that will gather people together? Well, for me, I had a lot of people in my area. It took me a while, but that started to really like what I was doing, or they believe in it. And my area, no offense, they don't have a lot of things to do unless you're doing something on your own accord. There's the bars, and there's like Prescott Days once a year, and that's just about it. There's not really any like events for people to do. So I was like, all right, even though for me to throw an event like this, I could totally charge for this. I could totally come up with a way to heavily make this benefit me. I want to throw something once a year that is just for the people. You can come out to it if you want. And what that might turn into even later on down the road, I think will be even more than this. But it wasn't a charged event or anything. And afterwards, I just heard from so many people that it was like the best day that they had, and it just was so much fun. And like that seems to be the kind of place where I can that's where I seem to be able to fit in to provide something for my community, an event once a year that people can have a good time and make memories, and it doesn't cost them a bunch of money like all these other things do. Other than that, just some little small things that we do. I'm always making baskets for different fundraisers and meat raffles and stuff with my mom. We'll put merch and sunglasses and bottles of Ronnie D and baskets and stuff to raise money for different, somebody's sick or somebody's raising money for a basketball team or whatever it is. And then on the smallest thing, when we were living in town, Caroline and I would rip around and shovel people's driveways and stuff like that. Just a little side thing there or whatever. But I tried to do things when I can, and I wish I could do it all, honestly.
All right, question 15. What is the proudest moment out of your career so far?
Proudest, honestly, I would have to say, like the most pinnacle thing that I did was performing on stage with Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit at the Somerset Amphitheater. That was like the coolest thing that I did, and obviously I was very, very proud of myself for that. But when I did Raging on the River, I would say that was the most proud that I was, because I did that front and center of my hometown. You stand in the downtown area of Prescott and look out in that bay. That's where I have been looking out at that water my whole entire life. And to just be the reason that all these people got together and we're out there having a good time, and to see like the footage later on, the drone footage of everybody out there just having fun, and then to go back to town and go up to the bars and see people like, oh my gosh, it was so sweet to see you guys do that and everything. Like, I just felt proud to do that, because in a very weird way, like when I touched in the beginning how I got in a little bit of trouble before I left high school and kind of fell out with sports and stuff. I always just felt like this weird like redemption that needed to happen to, like, not necessarily prove, but in ways prove that I'm not like a bad kid whatsoever. I have been gaining fans and people, and I wanted my hometown to see that. And like I just wanted this thing to happen, and, it'd be like our age range throwing it too. Like, it's not something that already existed, like a Prescott Days or whatever. Like, it's ours. And to do it and have all my friends help me out, pull it off, and to see it all work out, and just all of that to happen at once, I probably was the most proud. Like on top of the pontoon, looking and seeing like the train bridge of Prescott and like all of these boats and everybody like hooting and hollering. Like, that was just a really unique moment for me. And I hope that it just keeps getting bigger. And one day it's like so big that like it's just boats as far as the eye can see.
Nice. All right, question 16. So I know we talked about you snowboarding a little bit. So do you enjoy doing winter activities like snowboarding, snowmobiling, ice fishing, ice skating, all that type of stuff?
Yeah, I definitely would say that snowboarding is the one that I've done the most. Snowmobiling I've always liked, but my dad has always had, some like old Indy 500s laying around the shop and everything. We've never been have a bunch of nice snowmobiles family. Ice fishing, I always love doing that. Don't get to do it as much as I'd like to, but love doing it. Actually, my brothers and my dad are in Winnipeg, Canada right now, ice fishing, having a good time. Ice skating and stuff like that. Yes, I do like doing it. Haven't done it in a long time. When I was in Duluth, used to do a lot of the pickup hockey with the roommates, because when I got to Duluth, they were like, "Where'd you play hockey?" And I'm like, "I played basketball. What are you talking about?" And they're like, "What?" Like when I went up there, it was a whole different world. Like they didn't even have hockey at my school, bro. So yeah, snowboarding I'd say was my most done winter sport.
All right, question 17. Have you ever had an incident where you thought you were going to die?
Oh yeah, I definitely have had many incidents where I thought I was gonna die, but ain't nothing took me out yet. When I got in a pretty bad car accident, and when I was in high school, after leaving a party, I wasn't driving, but I was in the car, and at the time, I think invincible me, 16-year-old me, thought that it wasn't that big a deal. But looking back on how the car ended up and the cliff that we went off and everything, I think that was probably as close as I ever probably could have got to dying without dying. No doubt. Couple near-death experiences while having a really, really, really good time. So watch your shit when you're partying, people.
All right, question 18. If you could sing on stage with one musical artist, what artist would you want to sing on stage with?
Well, I got one of them off my bucket list already. I grew up listening to a lot of different music. So country music, I probably got a different, hero in each genre, but country music is a big part of my life because of my dad. My mom was into people like Michael Jackson and John Mellencamp, Prince, um, Roger Miller, stuff like that. And then I learned rap and all that stuff from the neighborhood kids. So my whole life has been like just a mixing pot of music. But some of the most influential people for me and kind of make sense for the music that I make is Fred Durst with Limp Bizkit, Kid Rock, big fan of Yellow Wolf. And I got to go on stage with Fred Durst. That was like one of the most iconic parts of my life, music career combined, in Somerset a couple summers back. And man, obviously I can't do that one because it already happened. But when I grew up, I look at my books and stuff. My mom always kept all the artwork and stuff that we did, and I'm drawing pictures of like Limp Bizkit and Kid Rock and all my favorite artists and stuff. And just to even think that I got to do that was insane to do it. But yeah, I'd throw Kid Rock back up in there. I know I said him for another thing. Just a big fan of him. Mostly the early hip hop stuff, but his country stuff as well. I think that we would make good music together, so I feel like it would just be epic to do. But it's gonna happen. I've been on his tail. I got in a couple of his music videos. I know his videographer now. I've done a couple things that have landed myself in his vicinity. A couple of events I've gone to with Brunt Boots. We got to meet him, got a picture with him, but none yet that's like that he knows I'm a music artist because he gets swarmed by people. So would he remember meeting me? Probably not. So we're getting in the vicinity of it, but it ain't happened yet.
Okay, question 19. What is the most dangerous thing you've ever done?
Most dangerous thing that I've ever done. I don't know. I feel like my life from 15 years old to probably about 29, 30 was dangerous. And I won't elaborate on all of the things, but I'm just glad to be in a stage of life now where I care about things enough to where, if something seems too dangerous, I'm not going to do it. And I'll leave it at that, because just making it through some of the stuff that I did in the era that I did, I'm just thankful that I made it out unscathed, because and not to go all into it, but like put it in perspective, my first job that I was thrown into at 14 years old was the stock boy at a liquor store. Like my life started out with a bang in that area, and it only led to crazier and crazier things happening to me. And I'm just glad that it's not just me. I'm glad the majority of the people that I know from that era got out unscathed, because there's a lot of them that could have been a lot worse.
All right, question 20, last question. If you died tomorrow, what would you want your fans, your friends, and your family to say about you?
I would, I hope that they enjoyed the time with me that they did. I hope that they can respect that it was no offense to anybody else. I went by my own tune of my own drum the whole time. It was never to be a defiant or to be difficult. It was just that I've seen the bigger vision for my life and things that I want to do the whole entire time. The vision came to me so early on that I wanted to do these type of things. I know I could have been much more reserved and conservative with it and done the straight and narrow route, but it's no offense to anybody. It's my life that I wanted to live. So I love everybody. I love my fans. I love my parents. I love my friends and everybody that I met along the way. But at the end of the day, this wild lifestyle is the one that I chose and that I wanted to live. And it was never supposed to be about anybody else. It's just, hey, follow your dreams, people. Go do what you want to do, because this life, it's always short, but it could be real short, and you never know. So I hope that they just respected that I was willing to follow my my inner voice and just go for it. A lot of people that I know have dreams, and they tell me about them and everything, and they make it seem like they're going to get to them down the road. So I hope that people get to getting it, because it can end real quick.
All right, well, listen, man, I appreciate you taking time to come on and having fun with the random 20 questions. If there's anything you want to say to your fans or promote a show coming up, go ahead.
I don't necessarily I got a song coming out tomorrow called Outlaw Living. Dirty Prescott Kids is the name. You can find me on any social media platform as Dirty Prescott Kids. I tried to keep it as easy as possible. DirtyPrescottKids.com, Dirty Prescott Kids, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I appreciate everybody that comes and subscribes, because the algorithm is always seeming to hide me for speaking the truth and being a little bit of a wild card. So anybody that joins the party is welcome to be there. And I just appreciate anybody that listens or spreads the good word.
All right, hold on. And with that, the truth has spoken.